Okay, so this story is funny. This is my birthday story, and I got kicked out of like so many places today. It's hard to even keep track. 8 places I think I got kicked out of. I talked to the cops. I called 911 twice. I was attacked by 2 bouncers twice. This story is awesome. Here we go. Right now I'm at Bay Beach, Green Bay. It's sunrise, and I just had my birthday, and it's like 5:30 in the morning. But I don't need sleep as much as everybody else does. But this story is crazy funny, I think. Plus, it shows how rampant narcissism is, and it also shows some discrimination. It's just hilarious. Sorry, what was the other thing that was important? Discrimination. I'll remember later. Okay. So this whole thing started with, it's my birthday, and I'm like, I'm gonna drink for free all day long. Because last birthday I woke up in Los Angeles with a broken elbow. I had no wallet, no phone. I was robbed. My rental car was stolen, and then I was homeless in LA, like on Skid Row for 3 weeks, because the lives of my children were threatened if I called home. And then I got home from that mess. My kids were stolen from me in court. Rental car was still stolen. All my money was gone, and the bank was being jerks. Anyway, so that was my birthday last year. And this year, I was in a suit and tie all day, drinking all day long for free, getting kicked out of everywhere because people don't like it when you stand up for yourself. And this is America, and we can stand up for ourselves just fine. It's totally within our constitutional rights. So I got kicked out of like 8 different places because I just stood up for myself. So here we go. The first one. I don't even want to do this story because it's so long and it's late. I'm tired and I'm homeless still, and I need to sleep on this bench, but it's so pretty out there. But anyway, so I think I'm gonna do the stadium view story, and then I'm gonna call it quits. Maybe do a volume 2 after I get a nap. So like last week or 2 weeks ago maybe, I go to Stadium View with my buddy Chris and Angela. And I'm a weirdo, okay? I'm a thinker guy. I'm very intellectual, I'm sorry, but I'm just walking around the bar in circles, thinking, I was actually writing a speech in my head, working. And for some reason, the security guy got a hard-on for me because I was walking in circles. And he said, which I thought was a joke at the time, he said, "Dude, you're making me dizzy." And I'm like, okay, well, I'm a smart person, so are you. I think you could not look at me if I'm making you dizzy. Because I could have swore it's okay to walk around a bar. But anyway, he wasn't kidding, he was mad. I didn't realize this until I put my headphones on and I was listening to Tupac Thug's Mansion all the way up on the volume, and I started walking around again in a big circle, just thinking and writing down stuff once in a while. And this bouncer guy at Stadium View, for some reason, just did not like me. And I even helped him haul stuff in from outside for no reason. I said, "Hey, dude, you want some help?" He's like, "Sure." So I helped him carry his bag set in from outside earlier, but he forgot about all that. Once I started walking around in circles, it was a big dick contest. I don't understand. But anyway, so I have my headphones in, I'm listening to Tupac, and he's yelling at me. I can hear him, but I'm gonna yell. I let him yell at me like 4 times before I pulled the earphones out. I'm like, "What's going on? Why are you interrupting me from working?" That's what I was thinking. And he's like, "This is not a gym. If you want to walk somewhere else." And I said, "I'll walk outside there." And he's like, "Do it. You're fucking out of here. You're never coming back here again. You're kicked out for life." And I'm like, "Okay, fuck you. There's 2 bars right down the street. Big deal." Big pissing contest. It was hilarious. I was yelling at him. I'm like, "Dude, I'm joining the army. What the fuck is your problem?" It was just, I was yelling, he was yelling, and there's no reason for any of it. It was awesome. So I got kicked out of Stadium View for walking. That was 2 weeks ago. So today's my birthday, and I'm like, how am I going to spend my birthday? I'm going to do exactly what I want to do all day, and I did. And it was awesome. Oh, The biggest part of this video is how we don't have freedom in this country anymore. That's what I forgot to say. No freedom. All these Republicans want to say America's so great because we have freedom. We don't have fucking freedom. Shut up. Shut up. For real. And that's why this story is so funny, because we think we have freedom, but companies run us and government runs us, and I'm tired of it. Here we go. Okay. So I decide I'm going to go back to Stadium View, even though I've been told by this child man guy with the beard that I'm not allowed there anymore. So I went there anyway, and they had a live band, and I'll post this video later. But the band, and I went there in my suit and tie too. I was looking good. I had this date with this girl who I was gonna just take care of in the bedroom. Like, that was the plan, and then I ended up breaking it off with her because she went psycho on me because I took a nap. So that was my plan, was to spend my whole birthday taking care of this girl physically and emotionally, and that didn't work out. So I went to plan B, which was do everything I wanted and piss everybody off, and it worked out great. So anyway, I go back there in my suit and tie, and I even smoked a blunt in front of everybody. Like, a blunt, marijuana blunt in front of everyone. I just walked around smoking a blunt, drinking my birthday beer, like I'm in South Beach again, or in New York. It was fucking awesome. But I didn't get in trouble for that at all. I didn't get in trouble for that whatsoever, which is hilarious. What I did get in trouble for is even more funny. So anyway, the band that was playing outside, they had a live band. They sang me happy birthday, and I have a video of it. And it's all kumbaya. I'm talking to this guy who had some really killer American suspenders, and I told him I'll trade you for those. I want them, and he texted me them anyway. And so I smoked a blunt, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave just in case some asshole called the cops. So I went to Ndoozies, which is right across the street from Stadium View. Played some pool. Oh, I set up a pool game. That's what happened. Set up a pool game 15 minutes from now, and in those 15 minutes I decided I was going to go back to Stadium View and give it to him. And so I did. I went back to Stadium View. I had 10 minutes before this pool game was supposed to start. Here we go. So I go back there, and I talk to some bartender, waitress lady. I'm like, can I just talk to the ranking official in this facility right now? And it was like a big to-do. She didn't know what to do. It took forever. And I'm like, it's not a big deal. I just want to talk to them, and explain what happened. Lodge a complaint. That's all I wanted to do, and I did. So anyway, so she's running around with a chicken with her head cut off, like freaking out about what's about to happen. I can just see the anxiety. It's everywhere. And I'm like, guys, just relax. So anyway, so I said, I'll be at the bar in a purple shirt. And I said, I see her taking forever. It's like a few minutes later, and she goes over to this girl who's sitting at the table with the computer. And I'm like, okay, that's probably her. That's probably the boss. So I walk up, I'm like, is it her? I pointed, and she's like, yep. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I just wanted to tell you a story about what happened to me today. Anyway, I tell her what happened. So I'm like, I told her the whole story about how I was walking in circles, and this guy got all furiously mad at me and kicked me out. And then I told her about how today I'm getting my happy birthday sung to me, smoking blunts around. I didn't say that part. And I went up to the security guys there today, and I said, hey guys, is it okay with you if I just walk around and think? And they're like, yeah, of course, as long as you don't bother anybody. I'm like, okay. So there's no way I could get kicked out of here by doing that? Is there anything in paper or writing or anything in the policy? They're like, no, man, as long as you don't bother anybody, you're fine. I'm like, okay, so there's no way I could get kicked out if I walk around and think. And they're like, no. And I already know I got kicked out for that once. So I tell this super smart 25-year-old genius bartender manager lady that I got kicked out for walking around, and that's like a totally American, First Amendment right kind of thing. But also, companies can kick you out for any reason, and I get that. So go ahead and kick me out, but you give me a good reason. And he didn't have one, and I know it, and everybody else knows it. So anyway, I told her the whole story, and then she started to get mad when I started to make so much sense. Like, like, there's no reason to kick me out. One. Plus, I have two other security guys saying that there's no way I could get kicked out. So it's obviously this guy's got a problem. This guy, that employee, had a problem with me that day, made a bad error. And as soon as she realized that there's no way out of this for her, she kicked me out again. She went and got security. And then security comes up like pointing at me, and I'm like, no, I'm not going by you. I'm leaving. So I walked out instead. And then I asked the security guards who told me there's no way I could get kicked out for walking if I could have a conversation. And those security guards said no. And they're like, is your car here? I said, yep. And I'm going to take it out. So I wasn't getting into it with them because it was ridiculous. I mean, who cares? So all I did was lodge a complaint, and I got kicked out again because of the first time I got kicked out was stupid. I'm like, okay, now how many bars can I get kicked out of? So I go to Ndoozies, and I try to crash a wedding, which didn't work out, which is fine. But then, I mean, it was the most lame wedding ever. Nobody was dancing. There was barely any, you can't even hear any music. It was so stupid. It's like a wedding I wouldn't even want to crash. It was so lame. So all I did was say to the bartender, I said, guys, push these tables out of the way, play some music, and let's have these fucking kids dancing. You know, there's a bunch of little kids around. Like, we need to have dancing going on. This party's lame. And then they told the security that I swore at them, so I got kicked out of Ndoozies. So like I go, like, okay, it's 2 for 2. Let's go to the bar. So I went to the bar. How'd I get? The bar. I got kicked out too. So I'm sitting there trying to tell a story about how the Stadium View thing happened to these group of girls, and they kept interrupting me. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell a story, and they're like, they kept interrupting me. I never even finished the story because their narcissism took over, and they had to keep talking and interrupting me. And I'm like, I'm done. I was like, I'm almost done. And they're like, fine, whatever. And I just quit telling the story, and I walked to the table next to them, to a nice lady and a man that I was talking to, and I just called them bitches to these people. I said, I don't know what these bitches' problems are. That's what I said. And I mean, it's definitionally correct. A bitch is somebody who knows more than anybody else, and it's basically a narcissist woman. And that's what those ladies were. And I'm not backing down anymore. I know what a narcissist is, and I'm super genuine and nice to everyone until they deserve otherwise. And I'm not violent by any means. I'm just going to tell you why you're a dick, and I'm going to tell you very smartly, and you're probably not going to be right, and I'm probably going to be right. And that's going to hurt your feelings, and then we're going to have an argument, and then I get kicked out because your feelings got hurt. That's how this went. So I called them bitches because they wouldn't let me finish. That's interrupting me, and that's rude. I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm trying to tell a story. So if you don't want to hear it, then why am I even here? I'll just go away. And then they wouldn't leave me alone. They would not leave me alone after I called them a bitch. Like, I was sitting there at this fire thing trying to work in my notebook and listen to John F. Kennedy, and they kept talking to me. And I'm like, guys, can we just be done? I don't want to argue with any of you. I don't want to talk to you at all. I just want to hang out. You're hell bent to get me kicked out. I already told one of them she wanted me. I could tell in the beginning. She had the lovey eyes. I knew it. But anyway, she got pretty pissed after I called everybody a bitch. But that's constitutionally okay. I can do that. That's called freedom of speech. So whatever. If you're gonna be a bitch, I'm gonna tell you why. And if you can't handle it, then I don't care. I mean, maybe if you don't like the way your behavior sounds out loud, you should change your behavior. I've done it my whole life. Anywho, so then they told the owner, a bunch of them complained about me, whatever. A bunch of them complained to the owner. The owner comes up to me, he's like, you're not kicked out of the building, but you're kicked out of this area. And that's after like 10 minutes of talking and me asking questions like, what is happening here? Why are you talking to me? Why won't these people leave me alone? You know? Yeah, I said they're a bitch, but I also went in the bar and said, hey, can I call people a bitch in here, or do I get kicked out for that? And they said, no, you don't get kicked out for that, but you probably wouldn't do it anymore. I'm like, okay, can I get some leniency on the bitch comment I've already made? And they said, yep, And I'm like, okay, I won't call any more people a bitch. And he's like, okay, that's what the bartender said. So anyway, the owner comes up to me, and he's just a mental midget. I don't even know what he's talking about. After a while, I was just like, dude, would you make a decision whether I can be here or not? Like, and he's finally like, you can just leave. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So that was bar number 3 I got kicked out of, all in that little area. And then I just kept going, and I kept standing up for myself constitutionally. I didn't break any laws. I wasn't mean to anybody, but if someone was rude to me, I was rude back. And people don't like it when they're rude to you and you're rude back. They don't like that at all. It's so funny. And that's what narcissism is. Like, if you don't know you're being rude to somebody, even though they're telling you, like I'm telling them they're being rude to me and they're just ignoring me because their thoughts are correct and mine are automatically not for some reason. But that's narcissism. You have no empathy when you're a narcissist. No empathy. And I have almost empathy. I know exactly. I can put myself in someone else's shoes pretty easily, and nobody can ever put themselves in mine. And that's why I'm lonely. I'm pretty smart, whatever. But I'm lonely, and it's okay because I'm so confident and happy with myself now. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm not putting up with anybody else trying to make me feel bad. Not doing it. And none of you should either, people, America. That's what's wrong with America. Everyone brings everyone else down, okay? It's pretty simple. That's why suicide's up. That's why everybody has anxiety. It's disgusting. And I kept getting kicked out of places, not breaking laws, just standing up for myself verbally, not aggressive. I mean, I'm pretty aggressive, I guess. I don't know. I'm intense, but I'm not physical at all. But I'm just intense, and I'm intimidating now because I'm in the best shape ever, and I was wearing a suit and tie, so everybody's like, oh, it was just funny. I should tell them more of the story, but I'm tired. But anyway, so I got kicked out of the bar for walking the first time, and then I went and complained. I had told her, I'm like, I just want to talk to you like an adult. Can we do that? She's like, sure, let's do it. And then we did, and she kicked me out because she didn't like my complaint. I'm like, that is like customer service 101. You allow somebody to make a complaint, and then once my complaint was good enough, I was kicked out again. And that was so funny. Oh man, how many other places? I think I got kicked out of 8 places tonight. 8. I had such a great birthday. It was my perfect birthday. Just me being myself, myself is a very good person. I'm nice to everyone that deserves it, and I'm mean to people that deserve it too. And just nobody ever realizes that when I'm being mean, it could potentially be somewhat their fault. They don't get that. And that's where narcissism comes in. Because when you're self-absorbed completely, no matter what anyone else says, it doesn't matter, because your thoughts take over, because you're right and they're wrong. And that's what a narcissist is. And ladies, you know that. And I just destroy narcissism. Oh, I gotta finish this. Oh my God, I gotta tell this part. Okay, so this story ends. Okay, I don't know what I did at Black Saddle. I think I got kicked out of there too, but downtown. I ended up downtown. It's my birthday, I don't care. I was like, I'm drinking beer all day for free, and and I'm not drunk. I didn't say drunk, just drinking beer and partying. Okay, I blew a .10 at the very end of the night, and I requested that breathalyzer because I know I'm not drunk. Anyway, these 2 security guards had such a hard on over me. They were so tough. Oh my God, such fake tough guys. It was so funny. So what did I do? How did I get kicked out of that one? I don't remember. But I just remember these 2 guys were, instead of at their bar, they were across the street grabbing my stuff. Like, a guy grabbed my phone, a bouncer grabbed my phone, took it across the street. I'm like, sir, that's my property. You can't just walk off of my property. And then he throws my property on the ground because he's so tough and smart. I don't get it. There's a black guy and a little white guy. Okay, so like a little short white guy but with big arms. So he works out a lot and he's super cool, that kind of guy. But he's short, so he's not really tough, and that's that guy. So this short white guy and then big fat black guy who's tough too. And they're the bouncers at Black Saddle. And they somehow got a crowd of people against me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Ladies are yelling at me for no reason. Nobody even knows what's happening, but I'm getting yelled at, right? And anyway, I'm walking away from these two tough guys, and one of them shoves me in the back. And I'm like, that's the biggest cowardly move ever. Okay, I'm leaving, and you're gonna shove me in the back? So he shoves me, And then I'm like, okay, are we fighting now? And he's like, he didn't really have the fighting thing. He just wanted to be tough, and I guess that's how he's going to prove it. So I walk across the street, and they're chasing me, and small guys doing it too, and black guy too. And I'm like, what the fuck, guys? What's going on here? I'm like, don't you know I just got out of jail in Miami? Like, I'm not afraid of you two idiots. They must have thought I was afraid of them. It's so funny. So they're yelling at me across the street. I'm calling the cops. You just assaulted and battered me on camera. I'm calling the cops. So I call the cops. They're like, you're not calling the cops. And I'm like, yeah, I'm calling the cops. And they're like, motherfucker. I'm like, motherfucker, we're going to wait for the police because they're the authority and you're not. Like, here we go. I'm just yelling across the street and they're yelling back. And some drunk idiot girls are yelling at me too. And they don't know what's going on. It was so funny. And then the cops come. What happened when the cops came? Oh, so I lodged my complaint with the cops. They didn't really do much. But I did get shoved by a bouncer for no reason. And that's not cool, but whatever. I mean, the police have better shit to do. But anyway, I was going to call the cops because these guys are being dicks, and that's well within my rights, and they did a crime. Putting your hands on me is not cool. I don't care what I say. Don't care what I say or do. You can't touch me, idiots, Why am I the only one that knows the laws in this country? I don't get it. Excuse me. So I went to a bunch of other bars and got kicked out at those places too. And then I'm heading back to the river on the city deck because I was going to make this video about how you can't even be an individual in this country because you get kicked out of bars. You can't even be weird or different. And I thought this was a big progressive country and everybody's democratic and we can just be ourselves, right? And you can be gay if you want or whatever, but I can't even be a thinker walking around in a circle. Guys, what the fuck? So anyway, I'm walking back to the river and I see those two guys and there's no cops around anymore. And I just said, hey, pussies, what's up? After one of them shoved me and I called the cops already once. And they got fiery mad then. Oh man, they chased me. I'm not lying, they chased me. So I'm walking by Black Saddle. And I call them pussies. And they both start coming after me. I'm like walking away. I'm like, guys, what's going on? Why? I just called you pussies. I'm allowed to do that. Why are you chasing me? And they did chase me. And the black guy shoved me again into a tree this time. And then I started running away. Because I don't want to fight them. I mean, I will if I had to. But I didn't want to fight them. I just wanted to make them look stupid. And I did it for like almost an hour straight. Okay, so they're chasing me now from this Black Saddle. And I ran a little bit. And they're just talking all this tough guy stuff. And I'm just like not giving a shit. I'm like, guys, what the fuck? I'm leaving. Why are you chasing me? You're not even on your property right now. Like, I'm just making so much sense, and they're so all puffed up and talking shit. And they already shoved me once, and it's just me against two guys, and they're cool, and I'm not. I mean, what the fuck? Okay, so they chased me all the way a block, at least a full block away from their place of establishment and employment. We got to the Walnut Bridge, Walnut Street in Green Bay. So from Black Saddle, they would chase me all the way to Walnut Street, and then I call the cops. And they're like, what are you doing? You calling the cops? I'm like, yeah. Oh, they were all pissed because I called the cops earlier. That's why they were so fiery. So I called them a pussy after I called the cops, and that made them mad. They hurt their feelings, the tough short guys. It was funny. So they're just berating me with their words and shit, and I'm just running away because, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, if he made me fight, then they're going to lose both of them. I mean, you don't want to fight me. Anyway. So I call the cops again, and then they both started running back to their bar. I'm on the phone, and they started running away from me. Now I'm chasing them back to the bar. This is so funny. They were so tough, so completely tough. And then I got on the phone with the 911 again, and now they're running away from me back to work. Tough guys. Oh my God, it was hilarious. And they're like, and then the cops come, and they're the black guy especially. He's the one that shoved me a bunch of times. I mean, I'm sure it's on camera, and I can't wait for the investigation. And I'm going to talk to the station commander or whatever at the police, wondering why they didn't get arrested. You know, because I got an ankle bracelet on because I sent a text to my ex. So I just got out of jail, arrested for sending a text, and these guys attacked me. 2 guys that were employees at a bar, and they're not arrested. So I want an explanation from the shift commander at Green Bay Police Department. That's what I want, and I'm gonna get it too, because that's what I get what I want. You understand? All right. So anyway, so they chase me, and then the cops come, and the black guy's he's just fucking totally lying to him. I'm like, dude, that's a lie. And she's like, and the cop's like, you can just I'll talk to you later. I'm like, okay. But every time they lied, I'm like, bullshit, motherfucker. I'm like, that's not true. That's a lie. And they were lying to the cops. It was just like South Beach again. It's like, guys, if you're gonna be tough, then actually be tough. Don't fake it. I'm so sick of fake tough guys. Like, I'm tired of it. Anyway, yeah, so so then I lost my keys. Maybe they fell out when those guys were chasing me, but so I walked to Bay Beach, and that's where I'm doing the video at sunrise, and it's beautiful out here. I'm a little cold though. I don't have my jacket because it's in my car. I don't have my keys for my car. I gotta wait for Mom to get up. But those 2 guys, oh my God, I can't wait to go after them in court, kind of. I mean, as soon as I get some money, I'm gonna have some lawsuits to file. I'm pretty sure, because those guys attacked me, and I'd love to know what the police are gonna do about it. And I mean, whatever. You guys, it's just hilarious how cool and how much shit they talked. And then the cops are on the phone, and they're sprinting back, terrified now. Oh, 211, you're so cool, 211. And then I call the actual authorities, and they just total penis inside their body and sprint away. It was just hilarious, and it was a great birthday for me. Because I did everything I wanted to do. I behaved exactly how I wanted to. I was respectful to those that deserved it, and I was mean to the 2 idiots. And other idiots who are narcissists. Because narcissists need to be stamped out of our society. They're killing people. So I'll just keep fighting the good fight. Happy birthday to me. Homeless, to free beer all day and a bunch of weed and beer and all that, and I'm not in jail this time, and they should be, and whatever, I don't care.